And this is the same Dean Withers that I debated a few months ago, where he told me that I make trans people look bad because of the untrue things that people say about them.
His allegations are false. Yours are true.
You also asked me why it's wrong to talk about genitalia at Disneyland, because genitalia is a place predominantly for children.
No, it is not. I understand what you're trying to say.
She had a moment of clarity when she said, "You're right." She went back to default settings to say.
There's a 1 in 3 chance that your newly minted ham sandwich will be able to butter itself.
Time to talk about Miss Lilly Tino, who is now beefing.
It's been a while since we've talked about her.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has. It's been like 2 weeks.
Like 2 weeks is a while.
I don't think we talked about her at all this month. Did we?
Definitely, we did.
I'll fact check.
Okay.
Keep going.
Anyway,
Okay.
Lilly Tino is now beefing with Dean Withers, the woke liberal TikTok star.
That was not on my bingo card for 2026.
No.
That's how you know the Overton window is shifting.
Woke versus woke.
Because if Dean Withers is going after anybody who's transgender, you know that
Well,
people are
actually,
getting
she's
over it.
going after him.
Oh, she is.
Uh-huh.
Because
And we say she ironically with Lilly Tino, by the way.
I swore that they had that she
The
went into
debate.
his live, but that was a while ago.
But now she is recirculating it because Dean Withers recently faced fake allegations.
Right.
Somebody like faked screenshots and like pretended to be this minor girl and claimed to be him, and it's pretty convincingly debunked.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not true. But then people who don't like Dean Withers ran with it because, and they're like, haha, believe all women, Dean.
Yeah,
and it's okay, no real woman has actually come forward and accused him of anything. But so it was this whole story I covered on my main channel. Lilly Tino decides to pop in and join in on the Dean Withers hate parade because he said false allegations about her, except they're not false. Anyway, let's watch her video weighing in.
Here we go, Lilly.
On the Dean Withers situation.
Okay.
Dean Withers has allegations, and this is the same Dean Withers that I debated a few months ago, where he told me that I make trans people look bad because of the untrue things that people say about him. But now people are saying untrue things about him. How the turntables. So in honor of this deeply ironic twist of fate, I am calling on Dean Withers to retire from social media effective today because he is making cis people look bad. I'm sorry, but we just can't afford to have a highly visible cis person like yourself in the spotlight. Even if they're not true, all these allegations make people think that all cis people are like you, and we can't have that. And between me and you, I know that you didn't do those things. I get that people just have it out for you. But the fact of the matter is that you are harshing the vibe of all the other cis people out there just trying to live their life. You see, there are people on the internet who now, no matter what you say or what you do, will always see you in the light of those allegations. And if I come to your defense, they'll dogpile on me too. So instead of publicly lending you my support, which would be the right thing to do because you're an innocent man, I am instead going to call for your resignation on social media and save my own neck like you did to me. Good luck.
This bitch.
That good luck reminded me of like a 50-year-old man being angry. I don't know. I just got like a flashback to middle school. I don't know what's going on there.
The difference is, Lilly, his allegations are false.
Yeah.
Yours are true.
Correct. I mean, some of the ones on Lilly Tino aren't fully true.
Sure, but there are true ones.
There are very true ones that people take.
And
I'm pretty sure that Dean took issue with
Dean did not give any false allegations against you, Lilly.
I don't think.
In fact, I have the clip pulled of what he said to her.
Good.
And it was totally reasonable. Let's play that now.
Okay.
You also asked me why it's wrong to talk about genitalia at Disneyland, because genitalia is a place predominantly for children.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
Like, literally, there are the word Disney adults. It's a whole thing, right? Like,
why,
Disney
why,
has nights
I have a
that are
question.
just for adults.
Why is Disney Kids not a thing? Because it's already by default a place for kids.
And adults.
No, because you just said
They
yourself.
call it Disney.
Disney adults is its own thing that people use as a phrase for adults that go to Disney, because by default Disney is designed to be a place for kids. There's no such thing as Disney Kids because by default it's for kids. Therefore you have to give it its own label when an adult goes there. Well, Disney adults.
Yeah,
Get my
you're
point.
right. Oh, I mean, I understand the point you are trying to prove. I understand what you're trying to say.
Did she just say you're right?
Firmly disagree.
Yes.
firmly disagree.
So wait, she had a moment of clarity where she said, "You're right," and then
Damn, you're right. She said it in a
she
deeper
said
voice
it.
than
She
mine.
went back to she went back to default
Damn,
settings
you're
to
right.
say
And
say
then
he
she
was
immediately
right.
goes, I would think that.
Oh wait! No! You're not right. Actually, I disagree with you. It's like, but what do you disagree with if you just said he was right? So no, there was nothing in that monologue where he was accusing Lilly of doing anything that is untrue.
Is Michigan about to elect a far-left senator? That's what everyone's wondering as the race between Democratic nominee Abdul El Sayed and Republican nominee Mike Rogers heats up heading into November. And according to our channel partners at Kalshi, people think there's a 62% chance that Abdul El Sayed will win in November, and Mike Rogers has just a 38% chance. A far-left Democrat winning in a state that Trump won in 2024 would be a big win for the far left. Anyway, Kalshi is the first CFTC-regulated exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events. If you want to check out their politics prediction markets or all the other amazing prediction markets they've got, just go ahead and download Kalshi now or click the link in the description and use code BRADP when you sign up to get $20 free to trade when you trade $20 now. His main complaint about her was that she behaves inappropriately. She talks about genitalia in front of children at Disneyland. She takes photos of women and girls in the bathroom. All true things. There are some wild rumors about Lilly Tino that I don't repeat because I can't confirm them.
Right.
But Dean Withers didn't do that. He just held you accountable for being a weird freak and behaving creepily.
To which you agreed with. You agreed with his points.
And then you're like, yeah, I guess it is for kids. And I did talk about genitalia there with fruit.
And
then-
took pictures in the
ends
bathroom.
it with, but we'll have to agree to disagree.
It's like, no, you're agreeing to agree. Like,
Well, the
you,
other
you
thing
just
too
agreed.
is Lily's.
She's gaslight. I'm not over this. She just agreed, and now she's gaslighting us, saying that she disagrees.
Correct. Are you shocked? Like,
No.
but here's the thing that annoys me. Lily is like, Dean Withers is a bad representative of the cisgender community. That's not
that comparison does not.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I mean, it is true that being a trans woman, which Lily isn't, Lily is a fetishistic male without even gender dysphoria, just a fetishist. But he is viewed as a representative because there's really only a handful of transgender
Because it's a
influencers.
minority. Of course, representation is more important when you're a minority because people have less experience and exposure to them. So then they form their opinions on who they are exposed to. So if somebody only sees Lilly Tino as the only trans person they know, they're going to have negative opinions on trans people.
And you could
because
say
anyone who sees Lilly Tino has a negative opinion.
Correct. But you could say that, like, well, that's not fair that someone like
Life's
Dean...
not fair. Get the f*** over it, bitch.
Correct. Like, someone like Dean isn't viewed as a representative of his whole demographic, but I am. It's like, okay, life isn't fair.
Well, that goes down to basic human psychology. It's like the reason people treat minorities differently is because we are wired for in-group, whatever it's called, an out-group hostility.
Bias.
Yeah. That's literally, it's a survival mechanism in the brain that goes back thousands of years.
That as we become more civilized, we try to override.
Correct. So you can't be mad at people. I mean, you can say that having bias and judgment and being racist and being transphobic and all of that stuff is wrong, especially if you apply like very hateful generalizations to it. But somebody only being exposed to one trans person and it being Lilly Tino, then forming a not so great opinion on trans people, psychologically speaking, you can't you can blame them, but you can't say you don't understand it.
Well, the flip side is also that Dean Withers is not famous or doesn't have the career he has because he is a straight man. That is incidental to his
they would argue
significance.
Differently, I'm sure.
I don't think so. I think
But
if
I don't
anything,
think so.
his career would be advanced if he was some kind of sexual or gender minority.
Oh yeah, if he was gay,
he'd probably be even more popular.
Have a hair transplant too by now. But I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I want that for him.
Catching strays.
You know what I mean? Like, I really want that for him because I know that he's so young and that would just really help his confidence.
Okay, well, back to the point.
All right.
The hair is not the point, but Dean is famous, and
we have the same hair.
I'm not a fan of Dean, but he's famous for his debate skills, his political commentary, all things. Lily is famous for being transgender. So you can't have that as your claim to fame, but then also claim that you are victimized by people associating you with that thing.
Also, yeah, if your only talent is being the worst representation for your community, then I think it's a valid criticism.
Correct.
Like, Dean at least knows how to debate. Lily, the only thing you know how to do is make trans people look bad.
And to be an annoying freak in public.
That's literally
That's
it.
literally
and to
it.
talk about cutting your dick off. That is what you are famous for. When you die and people go to your funeral, if you don't change your ways.
Nobody's going to her funeral.
I'm sure people will. She'll
mom?
probably live stream it somehow. When people
All
go
the
to your
waiters,
funeral
she's-
and when the person speaking accidentally misgenders you and you wake up from the grave. No, let me stop. But if you don't change paths now, you're going to be known for being the person who made everybody in your community look bad. That's
Correct.
literally it.
And what else I will say is that Lily is just such a cartoonishly bad faith creature that takes no accountability for any wrongdoing whatsoever. I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, because literally.
Almost. Remember, she took a break and then came back and did the same thing.
My content was too divisive and I don't want to make people mad anymore. I'm going to take a break and then come back and do the same thing.
Do the same thing. Actually, you know what? I retract that last statement about the funeral because I think
I'd go to the funeral, but
your decisions shouldn't be determined by how people remember you. Because many people are stupid. But if people remember you,
they're not.
But in this case, if they remember you as the way you presented yourself, they would be correct in having a
They're
negative
not
opinion on
misremembering
you.
anything.
No, but like when I die, I'm sure people are gonna be happy about it because I hope that my career gets bigger and bigger. But I will still think I was right on everything. So,
but you haven't seen this video. I want to get your reaction on it because it just shows you, just like I think Lily's most recent video prior to this Dean Withers thing is him doing the same thing and just like the most disgusting, maddeningly crude and offensive content. Let's watch Lily talk about his ham sandwich in the making.
it's not halal.
My baguette is almost ready to be turned into a ham sandwich. And there are two main ways that the chef,
a baguette was generous, Lily,
could turn this into this. The first is called inversion. It's the method that's been around the longest, and when you hear about people getting this done, it is probably via inversion. Basically, they take the baguette and they lie it down flat and flip it or invert it so the outside becomes the inside. This becomes the tunnel, or the canal, if you will, of the ham sandwich. But there are downsides to this method, namely that the size of the baguette directly determines how deep the canal of the ham sandwich will be. So if you happen to have a smaller baguette, your ham sandwich might not be as deep as you'd like it to be. But have no fear, there is a newer method that sidesteps this very issue. It's called pull-through, and instead of relying entirely on the baguette for the materials to build the inside of the ham sandwich, they also source some from your tummy. They literally will take material from your tummy and pull it down through to make the inside of the ham sandwich. There's much more material, so you don't have to have a big baguette to make it work. And a bonus for the people who do the pull-through method, there's a 1 in 3 chance that your newly minted ham sandwich will be able to butter itself if you test the drift. Inversion, there's a 0.
So basically, this is like a sausage casing. You know how like when you make a sausage, you use the pig intestines as the outer casing?
I don't know this.
Yeah,
I'm not over the buttering itself.
Most hot dogs are
what
like
are
the casing
juices?
is intestines. Well, they'd probably just like use your prostate juices.
What?
Why
No.
are we engaging with this?
Because I want to talk about this. It just
How Lily has to do the second procedure because her dick is too small?
No, I don't want to talk about Lily's. I want to talk about the fact that he just fixed his mouse to compare women's body parts to a ham sandwich.
To be fair, I've made a lot of roast beef jokes, so I can't even be mad.
But you're not aspiring to be a woman.
No, definitely not. Ew.
And you're not somebody facing allegations that you disrespect women, creep on them, and
no, I stick up for
them.
women, but I'm never going to sit here and pretend like I actually. I mean, I've slept with women, so I can't even sit here and pretend like it like grosses me out. That's just a bit. Yeah, you're right.
I just think the ham sandwich thing is diabolical. And he's still doing this with the thing with the food and the genitalia, and then clearly has learned nothing. And Lily thinks he's the victim in this whole situation.
I used to not be able to eat after watching these videos. This is how you know I'm desensitized. I am actually hungry after watching that.
What's wrong with you?
Because we have watched so much Lilly Tino content that my stomach no longer turns. It's a survival mechanism. Like, I have to eat. But we've been exposed to this so much that if I let my stomach turn every time I saw Lilly Tino's videos, I would be so skinny.
I guess maybe it's because we've watched its OF. That watching it talk about a baguette or whatever, it doesn't even do anything to us.
A lubricated
self-lubricating
ham sandwich.
It can juice itself, Clarkson.
Oh
the thing is, we
have the meats. Sorry, that's all I can think about. I was literally thinking about Arby's. I was thinking about Arby's the whole time. The whole time.
Oh my God.
And what's with the Ratatouille bit? Did we talk about that?
I don't know.
We got a Ratatouille outfit on.
Oh, yeah. Well, it seemed like it was fairly loose clothing because she probably can't fit into anything else in her. I'm going to stop mid-sentence on that one.
What I'll say is also, we should all know less about each other.
I disagree.
What?
I want people to know as much about me as possible.
You want to know as much about Lily as possible?
Yeah, we make money off of it.
Okay.
I mean, you're the one who wanted to watch our OnlyFans again.
Well, that's not true. You also supported it off camera.
He just lies.
Yeah, I do.
He literally just lies, and it's so obvious because your tone of voice changes. You start looking in other directions, and I'm just like, bro, at least commit to the bit.
Blocked.
He's a terrible liar.
I don't lie,
which
to
is
you, babe.
great.
I don't lie to you.
Your lies last about 12 seconds.
I always confess my wrongdoings
immediately. You often confess before I even had a chance to even know.
I don't want to get spanked again.
Oh, well, that's true.
All right, get a room, you two. Let's move on.
Okay. Oh, wait, don't go anywhere. We've got member comments. We got to see what the membies have been
we haven't done this in a while.
They're mostly about Blossom.
Oh, okay.
This week, because we just did our 4-part Blossom deep dive investigative
You want me to
journalism.
go off of which one? The one from this video?
The one at the top.
Yes.
Or the one at the top?
Yeah. What do you mean? There's no member comments on this?
Or sorry. Okay, so you want me to go off of...
The ones that are under the Jeffree Star video.
Great, okay. I will start. First one is, I never thought I'd ever actually like Blossom. It's fun to watch spicy clips and get worked up, but this definitely does it in a way that humanized her when it's so easy to label and hate someone. And Brad and Clarkson are a great team because they're both sweet and spicy. It's a great channel, and I think it will do very well.
Why, thank you.
Thank you.
And I think that was the goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think long form should feel like that. Like, you shouldn't leave it. I don't like watching debates in long form because it just makes you feel like the after you watch them. I know you watch them all the time. I just don't like it. So I mean, that was our goal going into it. That it would be more of like a fun.
People are complicated, and people are not all bad or all good. And just because some people have a few brain dead opinions doesn't mean there's not redeeming value. And I think we've always liked Blossom. Like, Blossom is one of those lolcows who became camp.
Yeah.
And there is an unhinged side and a slightly threatening side to Blossom, but then there's also a sweet side and a side.
Well, we all have that.
Well,
not the threatening.
Not the violent part so much.
But certainly unhinged.
Yeah, though we do have that, so we can relate to that. But I agree. I thought that Blossom's personality shone, especially the less we were talking about politics, the better Blossom came off.
Yeah. Well, I think that we both respect each other's hustle.
Yes.
And I think that's why. And she's not a bad person. I don't think we'll ever have a guest on where we don't, unless they're if we had Lilly Tino on, which I reached out to her today to come on. If we have her on, there's going to be no Kiki.
No, it'll be intense.
Yeah, it'll be intense. But if it's a guest that we just disagree with that we think has a good heart, we're not going to make it 90 minutes of excruciating, yelling.
That's not what this channel is or should be.
And that's not who
there
we
are. Lots of places to get that content.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing about this is a side note a little bit, but we were talking about how you were DMing Lilly Tino about coming on the podcast, and I was like, if Lily types in Lilly Tino normal gaze to see if we've ever talked about him, the first thing that's going to come up most likely is we reacted to Lilly Tino's OF.
Yeah.
So Lilly Tino will not be coming on the podcast.
I don't know. We offered her money.
But she makes a lot on that OF.
Yeah. No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. All right. Next comment.
How do we know? Did you
We
decide?
I looked at. You could see
There
her
wasn't a lot of
subscribers, and there wasn't a
engagement.
lot of engagement on it either.
It was dry as a non-self-lubricating baguette turned pull
But
through.
in Blossom's words,
Blossom was mean to Buck Angel.
yeah.
Very
All
mean.
right, let's
Okay,
move on to the next
next one is Blossom wants Clarkson, period. She's
think
trying
so?
to break up the podcast because she sees your connection as a threat to her need for Clarkson. The spirit has spoken.
Do you want me, Blossom?
But I don't think you're Blossom's type. I don't think either of us
I
are.
don't think I am Blossom.
I think she likes big, burly, masculine
be
men.
Well, who's the guy?
Brandon Tatum.
Yeah.
She likes bears.
Neither of you look very much like Brandon Tatum.
Well, in many ways.
Yeah, we couldn't really get her type down.
Next one is next time I want to
Wait,
say.
sorry.
Oh.
Her type is not Buck Angel.
Well,
She made
definitely
that
not Buck Angel.
very
Yeah.
clear.
Okay. Next time I want to say something shady to someone, I'm just going to say, it's not me, it's spirit. I hate your haircut. Sorry, it's not me, it's spirit.
Just take out a tarot card and say, the spirit says you're a.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like the way I view those types of like tarot card readers and stuff like that is I do believe there is a higher spirit, but I think that it has to go through the lens of your own biases. And a lot of that has to do with the way you perceive people. So if you're reading for people that you don't necessarily like and you're not as like high vibe because you have all of that low vibe hatred or like animosity, you're not going to be able to tap into like what your higher self
Are you
is actually
saying Blossom wasn't really tapped into spirit?
I think she might have been into her spirit at a certain point, like her higher self, maybe. In some parts of the reading, maybe she was, but I think that just the environment didn't allow for her to stay up there, and it probably pulled her back down.
I just don't believe in any of that, to be honest, but that's okay.
Next one is you guys should have had a Blossom bingo.
Like a bingo card. That would have been good. What would go on it? Keep it cute.
Keep it cute.
Don't interrupt the black trans woman.
There was
when
another
she's
thing
speaking.
that she says a lot. Let's just be real about this. Doesn't she say that, or there's something along those lines?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We could definitely fill up a bingo card.
Maybe when she comes back on, we'll do it.
And yeah.
Last one is so happy to see the return of the Dance Moms memes. More,
oh God,
please.
stop. Don't encourage him.
Your kid doesn't have a chance. She sucks. Wake up, Michelle. Wake up.
He's gonna do more of
I've
them.
been waiting for these types of edits. They're so much more entertaining. There's one part in the Blossom thing where she laughs at the end. She's like, and he like opens
Yeah, that
the
was
thing.
great.
It's like 32 minutes in, but it is perfect.
The editor did
dying.
a great job
Yes, he
in
did.
these videos.
Hats off to you. All right, guys. Well, become a channel member. We might read your comment on a future episode. But regardless, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And we will be back with more real soon.